What's good, guys? It's your boy the Sports Conversations, and today I have one question for every big team heading towards next season. With the World Cup just ending and a whole host of transfers being made, I have one big question for everyone. How are these additions actually going to mesh in your squad? Is your manager the right manager? Do you have the right star player to lead you to the top? I have a question for everyone. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Comment and let me know what you think about the video. And yeah, let's quickly get into this. First up for Real Madrid, is the Mbappe-Vini experiment actually going to pan out? Ladies and gentlemen, we are in year 3 of the Mbappe-Vini experience. And not gonna lie, let's put away the first Super Cup that they won, because we are not going to count the Super Cup as a trophy, right? Especially for Real Madrid. They've been trophyless for 2 years. If you take your time and look at it, obviously, yes, in the league, Barcelona have been running rampant. But in the Champions League, they haven't been anywhere close. It's gotten to the point where they've appointed Jose Mourinho in big 2026. You look at his track record for the past 10 years, got sacked at Spurs, won Roma in Conference League but got sacked eventually. Went undefeated with Benfica, I think, last season, but still didn't qualify for the Champions League. That's unheard of. But Madrid have no other choice, because there's literally no other coach to manage the amount of egos in this team. And it's not as if this team is even like a perfect team, right? You can look at the names on paper and you're like, okay, yeah, you have Mbappe, the Vinis, the Bellinghams, the Courtois. But you can literally, when you watch them, you feel holes in the team. But to all eventually boil down to Vini and Mbappe coexisting. It's a famous J. Cole line. They act like two legends cannot coexist. Can they actually coexist? I think this season, if there's no silverware, for sure, and you can bet this down on anything, for sure one head will roll. Moving on to Barcelona, and the main question is Rodri the final piece to bringing back the UCL after 11 long years? Barca haven't won the UCL since 2015. If we think about the best trios in the world, or the best trios of all time, or the best trios in modern day football, there's only two: MSN, Messi, Suarez, Neymar. When we were all watching in real time, and even now, I don't think anything gets close. But for a trio of like, and mind you, I'm not even saying this, they are even at the level, right? For a trio like Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Doué, to have more UCLs than the MSN on paper sounds a bit crazy. When you look at the amount of time that they've gotten heartbroken over the past years, it's just in devastating fashion. Roma, crazy. Atletico, 3 times. Bayern, 8-2. Recently, based on the amount of signings they've made this season, it seems like they might be, if not a top 3 contender for the UCL this season. Rodri literally just made a move to Barca for, I think, 80 mil. They've gotten in Adeyemi. They've gotten in João Cancelo, who I think was splendid towards the end of the season. They brought in Gordon. I have my reservations for him. For the style of play Hansi plays, I think he's quite good. The only thing that makes me hold my tongue with Barcelona is the striker role. If they can match and get Alvarez, mind you, I'm an Atletico Madrid fan, pay the money up. I think if they do get their paws on Alvarez, you might be looking at the best team to go boot for boot with PSG. I do have another question. Obviously, Spain winning the World Cup, already getting the best player in the world, the best player in the tournament. He's coming to a midfield with Pedri and De Jong. And I'll put De Jong to the side. Let's talk about Pedri. Rodri and Pedri this year, especially at the World Cup, when you actually watch them, they give a bit of vibes of redundancy. When I say redundancy, I'm not saying they're the same player, but what they offer on the pitch sometimes always clash. When Fabian Ruiz came in, brought a bit more physicality, a bit more diversity in the midfield. But again, is he really the final piece? Can he actually deliver UCL to Catalonia? We wait and see. Next team we go on to is Atletico Madrid, my dear beloved club, and the big question is Cholo still the man to lead us on? I've supported this club for 16 years, 16 proud years. I have a lot of jerseys. Anyone who knows me knows how proud I am of this club. He changed our lives. I won't lie to you, he changed our lives. Getting us onto the brink of winning a UCL twice within a space of 5 minutes in one instance and one penalty kick in another instance. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in 2026. The last time Atletico Madrid tasted silverware was the La Liga we won during COVID time. I'm not proud to say it. Last year we were in the final against Real Sociedad in the Copa del Rey, and we couldn't see it through. I think we lost in extra time. The only way I think he can prove, not to just to himself, obviously the club is not going to sack him, not just to himself but to everyone. Mind you, he's I think the second highest paid coach, I think. But to prove to himself, to prove to the world, he still got it. And secondly, we've already lost our greatest player of all time, that's Griezmann. God forbid we lose Alvarez. Can we, even with Alvarez in the team currently, can you actually put your hand on your chest and say we are competing? I don't think you can. Cholo, what do you have for me? What do you have for me? Moving on to Arsenal, and the question for Arsenal is, how far can you go? Arsenal just merely won Man City in the final. Obviously, you guys will say the preseason tax, right? But a trophy is a trophy. The way you start off a season could really play a big factor into how you continue and end the season as well. Arsenal right now are currently looking like the best team in England bar none. Defensively, top tier. Their midfield, physically, very good. Creatively, not that, not up there. The attack currently is lackluster, but again, with Havertz even playing, you can put an asterisk on it. Choles coming in, or Solis coming in. You might never know. You could tell last season there was a part of the season where you could just tell the nerves were getting up to them. No more nerves, pressure is off. How is your bottle? How far can you go? You've won the Premier League now. It's not easy to win the Premier League, but it's harder to retain it. You just went to the Champions League final. You might be en route back there again. How far can you go? Because football is one of the most unforgiving sports when you don't take your chances. You are here and everyone is here. Take the opportunity. And if you don't, trust me, you will regret it. How far can you go? Next, and the question for Chelsea is, can you still say is youth over experience? They sacked Liam Rossinier, brought in Xabi Alonso, new system, new players. But the transfer policy has shifted a little bit. Signing the likes of Palestra, letting go the likes of Cucurella, Morgan Rogers, again and I still can't believe, for about 140 million euros, which is, oh Jesus Christ. I look at the skeleton of this team, no European football at all, and I still can't put my hand on my chest and say, yeah, they are going to play Champions League football next season. Cole Palmer, he's not clicking like the player he used to be, or he looked in his first season. Steval, people hype this guy up. Morgan Rogers, very long gazelle type AM, LM. He's giving me shades of João Felix, not in the sense of play style, but in the sense of you don't know where exactly you play. Versatility ends up being a weakness rather than a strength. João Pedro last season was very good. It gets to a point you can't say youth over experience. You brought in the likes of Daniel Welbeck, Jordan Henderson. So it's either you are going so young or you are going so old. Can we get the middle ground? And especially with you having just 38 games and a few cup games here and there, youth over experience, giving you maybe one more year. And next, for Manchester United, my question is, can you let the theater of dreams dream again? Last season, United started off the season with Amorim at the helm, got sacked, Michael Carrick came in, and off the jump, Liverpool City win-win. And I think from the time he was appointed to the end of the season, he accumulated the most points out of every team. Can you carry the momentum forward? Can you carry the momentum going? Now, with Champions League football also coming into the fray, are you ready? Last season, United's biggest issue was, I think, the midfield. You could tell they were very lightweight. Casemiro obviously aging out. They've reinforced. Yuri Tielemans coming in, I think that's my bargain of the summer in Europe. Andre Santos coming in, very good backup. I think under the right system, can it work? Because towards the end of the season, they sort of figured Carrick's tactics out a little bit. For me, I feel like Carrick is very good with simple stuff. A player is going to play in his position, let him play in his position, link up well, and create chances and score. But now that you are on the scouting report, how good is your bottle? I have my own questions with Lisandro Martinez and Lenny Euro and Maguire and not adding any defensive reinforcements. Again, on the left-hand side, Luke Shaw, I think in 2026 should not be playing or starting. When I say Old Trafford dreaming, I mean play with the pride on your chest. Play the United way. What's the United way? Counter-attacking football. Win play. Down 2-0 and you still have the vim and you still have the thought and the might that you can come back. That's it. I feel like that is vintage United. And I'm not asking you to win the league. I'm not asking you to win the Champions League. Hell, I'm not even asking you to win the FA Cup. Can you make the theater of dreams dream again? Next, Liverpool. And the question for Liverpool is quite simple. Are you really comfortable spending 140 mil on an unproven talent? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Bradley Barcola is unproven. When I say unproven, I mean not fully polished to his best of his abilities. Last summer, you literally spent 150 mil on Isak. Mind you, at that point in time, basically not at Haaland's level, but almost at Haaland's level. You spent 125 million on Florian Wirtz. Not on Musiala's level, but almost there. I get it. Bradley Barcola is one of the most polarizing footballers around. Everyone has their opinion on him. And there's a faction of the internet that says, yes, very good player, dribbles, look at his stats. There's another faction that says he has very good stats, right? But out of, let's say, 10 chances, he's only scoring 5. Is he the main person to champion the Andoni Raiola era? Liverpool also making a few weird decisions, right? Swapping Konate for Araujo, which I think is a downgrade in my opinion. The last is McAllister and Gravenberch looking a shadow of themselves under Arne Slot. You will still need to get Barcola through the door. That's not done yet. Personal terms are done, but that's not done yet. But for the prize, really the main man to champion you, to lead the cup, I don't know. Next, Manchester City. And for Manchester City, I think the question is, are we really entering into Man City's post-Fergie era? What do I mean by this? Enzo Maresca ending his stint at Chelsea the way it did gave me a little bit of weird vibes. I talk about someone who can play Malo Gusto in the 10. Notwithstanding that City have spent a lot of money. Over, I think, that like the past 2 years, 2.5 years, a lot of money. Anderson for, I think, 130, Buadi almost for 100 mil. Nico Gonzalez for, I think, 60-something mil. Omar Mahmoud for 75 mil. You can't say you don't have talented players. You have a very good set of talented players. But it could go two ways. It could either be similar to when Klopp left Liverpool, the framework was already set. So for Arne Slot to come and take over, he did make a little bit of touches, right? But they went sky high. It could be that, or it could be Moyes taking over Sir Alex Ferguson. Just disappointing, unfortunately. Because at that point in time, David Moyes was touted as the next big thing in England managerial duties. Are we really in the post-Pep era? And is it giving the Fergie vibes? Next, Bayern Munich. Is Musiala still at that level? Musiala, after the Euro 2024, has been a shadow of the Bambi we know. The Musiala I knew in 2020, very shifty. I hope he's doing better with, like, after the fainting issue and stuff. But I don't want him to take the Phil Foden pill. What do I mean by that? Top player, we all know his talent. Iniesta type player, Pep said himself, best player to be trained by him, blah blah blah. Currently, Foden is an afterthought in England. And I don't want that to be for Musiala. But Bayern have even set themselves up in a way whereby even if he does become an afterthought, they have a replacement in Leonard Carl. And they have Ismail Saibiri, who can also play in the 10. And they have Harry Kane, who can also play who can drop deep in the 10. Last year, especially when he came back from his injury, came in the game against PSG. It was like, if you can add to our score, if you can't, we have other weapons. Football is so damn unforgiving. But I think this season he would be given a chance. But he has to prove to us, Musiala, do you still have it? Bambi, can you actually make us smile? And last but not least, the Champions League holders, the current 2-time back-to-back Super Cup champions, Paris Saint-Germain. And I think for PSG it's quite simple as well. Can you really be the ones to rewrite history? A three-peat is on our hands for the second time ever. So if they end up actually three-peating, they would force themselves into some uncomfortable conversation that we don't want to have. They mastered the formula. We will just be, in our shell a little bit from like September till December, January, and we turn it up. They have arguably the best left winger in the world. They have arguably two of the best midfielders in the world. They have the best fullbacks in the world. They have a top 3 centre back in the world. And they have the current Ballon d'Or winner. This is no ordinary team. Not at all. And they are being coached by a coach who has evolved his game throughout, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch. You can tell by the way he speaks, the way he moves. He's a very, very tactical coach when it comes to the mental side of the game. Luis Enrique. Most likely, even a three-peat is either a Kvara Ballon d'Or, a Dembele Ballon d'Or, could be a Vitinha Ballon d'Or. This year could even be a Kvara Ballon d'Or, or regardless of the fact. I feel like you guys are not really deep in the type of conversations that they are going. If PSG win the Champions League for the 3rd time in a row, they are pushing Man United. That's like a top 3 club in the world, no? They are getting closer to Barcelona, like the 2nd best club in the world, no? We are literally watching living legends on our hands. Can PSG actually chase history? But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts. Those are my questions for the start of next season for these big teams. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.